Welcome, everyone, to today's episode of Dare to Age Well Now. I'm very excited to be joined by Kristin Berard, and I had to literally stop our conversation so that I could start recording because this is going to be fantastic. So, Kristin, would you mind going ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes. So I am the CEO of Midland and Freeland Sports Rehab here locally in Michigan. And then I also co-own with my husband a company called Stretch Center. And we launched that about a year ago internationally. And so that's two projects that I'm working on. But also, I have been really heavy into the health and wellness industry for probably about 15 or 16 years now. More so when I met my husband, who is a sports chiropractor, moved to Florida, and in Florida, everybody's fit and for the most part, you think they're all fit and healthy. So you really try and keep up with everybody down there. And so I really got into nutrition, and actually, I used to do professional bodybuilding. But I don't look like some of those professional bodybuilders that you look at online because I'm all natural, and I competed in an all natural organization where you're drug tested and you do polygraph tests. It's very interesting. But through all of those experiences, we've had a daughter, and I've seen things really change. And so that's kind of what I do on a daily basis. I am really focused on health and wellness, but they are really tied into the businesses that we operate as well. So actually, just I'm in a leadership course right now, and I came home 2 weeks ago and told my husband, I think I'm going to get into politics. And not like local politics. I'm talking like state level kind of politics where we're dealing with like the health and wellness. And I'm actually on a committee for the state of Michigan right now that's kind of trying to incorporate some physical activity stuff. And he just rolled his eyes at me because he knows I complain about all the stuff that I do now. Like, I mean, I complain about it because I have a lot on my plate, but I love it at the same time.
I
But
love it.
I have a degree in criminal justice and public administration and political science. So it's
Okay.
nothing that I'm doing right now. And I feel like I'm called to do that at some point in my life.
I love
I
it.
just need to kind of boil down the stuff I'm doing right now. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and you bring up such an interesting point because there's so often that we have so many varied interests and they feel disparate and it feels like I'm over here and I'm over there. And I've been fascinated to find the red line through those stories that of the things that really energize me. And so I love that you are actually there's still a through line of that health and wellness that is going through. So that's fantastic. Now, that's a lot going on, as lots of busy moms can attest to. What are some of the things that, as we age, you find as a busy mom that is kind of detrimental to our health?
Yeah. So prioritizing ourselves. I mean, when we stop prioritizing ourselves and we put everybody else first, in the long run, all we're doing is hurting ourselves and we're hurting the other people around us. And so I tell women, put your workouts on your calendar. Like that is time, just like you would put an event that you're going to or something you're doing for your kids or your spouse or work. That's what's going to create your longevity. And because of the hormonal shifts that women have through their whole entire life, and I know that my daughter will kill me right now if she listens to this, but she's 13. She just started her period. She's trying to learn learn about life. Her hormones are all over the place. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning for her because when you think about these younger kids, they're all pretty much the same, except we have boys and girls, right? But once the girls start to hit those hormonal shifts, this is the beginning of a huge shift in their whole entire life because women have highs and lows on a monthly basis, essentially 4 different phases throughout your whole entire, hormonal month. And then this is going to happen as you become a young adult, and then as you have children, and then in between every child you have, it's going to change. And then after you're done having children and you're in perimenopause, and then you go through menopause and then postmenopausal. And so men don't get this. They don't have to go through these things. And so when my husband says, oh God, it's that time of month, I'm like, deal with it, because you don't have to go through it. We do.
Yes.
And so prioritizing yourself from day one is going to help you long term. And I've watched so many videos and read so many research articles where women just let themselves go, put everybody else first, and then they're left picking up the pieces later down the road. And then they have injuries with their bones being brittle. They're gaining weight because they don't know how to eat properly and they're not putting themselves first. And then some women will go into this starvation mode where they think starving themselves is going to be better because they think that's how they got themselves to where they're at. And so it's teaching women how to put themselves first and how to put themselves first, because some people don't know how to do that. If you have never put yourself first, prioritize physical activity, prioritize nutrition, and then even most importantly, prioritized sleep.
Come on.
Sleep is
Let's
a
go.
huge factor in life. It's what, helps our bodies heal. And if we're not prioritizing sleep, then we're not going to heal. We're not going to get better. And we're not going to lose weight, and we're not going to feel better, and we're not going to mentally be okay either.
Right. You're bringing up the idea of, like, I don't know if you've ever seen, there's a YouTube video, and it's decades old at this point, but it's this idea of, like, we all have a jar, and if you put the sand in the jar first, you can't put the rocks in.
Yep.
But if you put the big rocks in, then you put the medium-sized rocks, then you put small rocks in, then you dump the sand in. The sand still fits in the crevices, and you can add water to it. But if you do not put the big rocks in first, you cannot actually fit everything in there. The sand will absolutely fill this up. And in this scenario, I think that when we think about those kind of rocks, bedrocks of health, of moving, exercise, which we've talked about a lot on this podcast, nutrition, and sleep being those three bedrocks. You put those three bedrocks in first, and you actually have so much more capacity for all of the sand. There's an element where I feel like women do this thing where we assume that we can fix it later. Like, there's so many things in our life where we're proactive, we're take control, let's go, we're on top of it, we got a list. And then why is it that we take our health and we think, oh, we'll get to it eventually. Mm-hmm. Do you see that a lot in practice?
I do. I see that a lot. And also something that, when I used to meet with a lot more nutrition clients, a lot of women would tell me, I wish my mother would have taught me some of these things. But I saw my mom constantly doing things for the family, not putting her health first. And now I'm trying to learn how to put my health first. And so just a backstory about myself. So my mom died when I was 4. And so my dad was left raising me by himself. And my dad never remarried. And so I saw this man who worked 8 to 12 hours a day, sometimes 6-7 days a week, still come home, still get active with me and practice sports, still have to take care of the household. And we didn't have, a luxurious life. Let's be honest. But I had everything I needed in life. And I was active, and I saw him be active. And then we had a garden, and we grew this garden together. And so he was able to lay that foundation for me. But also, I knew that I was in charge of my health. And if I tell people I'm a cancer hazard. I really am. My mom had Hodgkin's lymphoma, and then she had breast cancer twice. The second time she had it, she died at 40. My dad had melanoma, and then he had anal cancer, and then he has a very low form of leukemia. And so I like to tell people I'm a cancer hazard. I mean, there's a lot of cancer in my family. And so if I don't put myself first, what's going to happen if I get sick and can't take care of myself? So exercising is very important. It's important for your health. It's important for your brain. It's important to keep you operational and have that longevity in life so that if you fall when you're in your 70s, you're not on track to die because you're just going to have to lay in a bed forever. So keeping your bones healthy, keeping your muscles strong, and then putting nutritious food, which has all these micronutrients in it, which is ultimately vitamins that a lot of people are taking every single day, at a forefront. And when you do that, you are setting an example for those people around you, your spouse, your kids. And if your kids are seeing that, then they're more apt to do it down the road. They don't want to listen right now for the most part. Our 13-year-old, she loves to get into treats and all this other stuff. But she also sees the importance in eating well and then sleeping and then staying active and being active 5 to 6 days a week. You don't have to be active every single day of the week. Your body does need rest. But setting an example for those people around you. And then I would say that a lot of our team members within our organizations see that as well. And you're setting an example for those people, and then they ask you questions. And if you're doing it right and you're delivering the right message, those people will learn how to do things the right way. Or they will listen to different people and they will try different things and they will find what works best for them. Because my life is not your life. And what works for me is not going to work for you. And if you're trying to do everything that I do, you're just going to go crazy because it's not going to work.
Absolutely. I love that. I have two kind of thoughts that come from that story, which one is kind of the refrain that really drove me launching this podcast. And it is, I had two different friends, and these are very healthy, active people that one of them was just turned 60. The other one was 72 and had major just health thing. One of them fell, and then the other one caught really bad pneumonia. And both of them, within days of each other, I happened to be checking in on them, see how they were doing, and they were like, "Angela, without your health, none of the rest of this crap matters, because you can be as busy, all the businesses, all the things, have this very full life, and when you lose your health, like crash and burn." And so number one is I hope that people will take that without your health, none of the rest of this matters. And the other thing is that because women are so apt to be doing things for others, I love how you really position that as this is the ultimate. And it seems that there's more and more of us that are having to care for aging parents, and I hope that can be a kind of a guide of like, okay, you don't want to, what's the gift I can give my children? And it is to, and there's things happen, like I tell my husband all the time, I'll be like, look, I know that there's a possibility, because I'm like you, I have some real bad genetic background. My grandma was 72, she passed when I was 24, and to date she has outlived five of her 7 children have not lived that long. And so I'm like, okay, genetically I'm predispositioned to not be here a long time, so I'm going to do everything in my power. And so I tell him, I'm like, I'm going to suck at taking care of you, okay, if something happens. And if you have not prioritized taking care of your health, I'm going to be angry and sucking at it. I'm going to be bitter and resentful and sucking at it, because I can tell you that I've had family members that it's like we begged them and begged them and begged them to quit smoking for years and years and years. And then when they get lung cancer, it's very hard to be cheerful about caretaking them when they haven't even tried themselves. So I know that's terrible and I'm not supposed to promote resentment, but I'm just like, I like to give people the idea of like, imagine your future self. Imagine I have said I want to be stronger at 60 than I was at 40. I have blown past that goal. I've had to figure out how to measure that goal now because at 40, I didn't think I could ride a bike more than 2 miles. And now I can hop on my bike and I ride 10 miles to get a massage, which people think is weird. And I'm like, no, this is fantastic. I'm all warmed up. I get a massage. I'm all warmed up. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Work out the kinks. It's beautiful. I also get a massage not for luxury. I get a massage for like maintenance. When I go in, I'm like, this is like an oil change for my body because I don't care how much activity I do and yoga I do, there are still things I just hold stress in my body. And so I don't get a massage because it's this luxury little thing. I'm like, nope, I got that kink and I can't get it stretched just right. And oh
Yeah.
my, yeah.
When you're talking about maintenance, that is so important. So think about this. And I don't know how much you or some of these listeners know about insurance companies, but I'm an admin for our clinics, and we're a multidisciplinary clinic where we have the chiropractic care, physical therapy, massage, assisted stretching, and acupuncture. And so we don't believe, our practice does not believe in, obviously, promoting prescription drugs and those kind of things. And I'm not saying prescription drugs are a bad thing, but insurance companies nowadays, what we're finding as clinicians are dictating the care of the patients.
Yep.
They're saying what they're willing to pay for and what they're not willing to pay for. And what's really frustrating to me, and this is one of the biggest reasons I want to get into politics that aligns with the healthcare industry, is that these doctors are going to school for 8 to 12 years. They're learning how to treat patients. They decided to be a doctor because they wanted to help people. Yeah, there's money in it, but think about the amount of debt that they go into. And
Yep.
I'm talking I think my husband graduated with $330,000 in medical school debt before he was able to even start making money.
Right.
And so now you have the doctors going to school, learning how to help patients, wanting to help patients. And then now you have insurance companies saying, well, we're not going to pay for that.
Right.
We don't think that this person needs that. And so as a patient and as somebody from, general member of society, it's your obligation to put your health first and use these doctors when you need the help.
Yep.
And so either you're going to pay for it now or
Yep.
you're going to pay for it down the road. And when you pay for it
Preach.
down the road, you're going to pay for it with money and pain because your body is going to hurt. It's going to hurt from being overweight. It's going to hurt muscles, bones, tendons, ligaments, and it's going to hurt, your everything on the inside, right? And so if you put your health first, it may cost you a little bit more money now. Maybe you're going to do prehab is what I would call it, or maintenance care. And insurance companies, by the way, they don't cover maintenance care.
Right.
So if you're doing that consistently, you will see the long-term benefits and you will be in less pain as you get older and you will actually save money as you get older. And so I am a huge, promoter of maintenance care and taking care of yourself. And that's not just working out and eating well. It's getting those services like massages, seeing an acupuncturist, doing a lot of these alternative medicine things that are going to help you live longer, happier, healthier lives.
I love that. And I would add, you said you pay for it in money and in pain, which brilliant. I had not thought of it in that way, but I was thinking of it as time because there's so many folks when we're taking care of the aging parents, it is like I'm at a doctor's visit every week or every other week or a couple of times a week. And so like the time it takes you also to once you have gotten it it just is it's you're right, it is such a great way. It's interesting. We talk a lot about saving for retirement,
What
but
if you don't
I've
get there?
never, well, we don't get there, but that's not what I was thinking is like, what are you doing while you're saving up for retirement? Are you doing the things so that your body still is saved for retirement?
Yeah.
Right? Like, are you doing the things that allow you, that are going to allow you to have the kind of retirement life that you want? And we invest money in our retirement, but are we investing in our health? So I love that, and I hope that you
Yeah.
do get into politics, Kristen. This
Yeah.
is fantastic. If people want to
Thanks.
connect with you, find you online, where is the best place to find you?
You can actually go to KristinBerard.com.
Awesome. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. I hope that today has really specifically, hope today has inspired you to dare to age well now.